us. Billy Smith, can you hear us? Can you see us? Someone just let me know that the audio is working okay. Anybody who was here earlier, anybody who was here when the video first went up, that is what it is like being married to a woman with a very good sense of humour.
I will leave.
She thought she was taking a very funny photo, just to be lol, and then accidentally it got posted up instead of the real thumbnail. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I found it hilarious. How's everybody doing? How's your Easter going? We've been eating Easter eggs by the dozen for about the past 2 weeks, haven't we? We've really gone to town. I'm usually quite strict on the family budget. The only things that I'm not strict about is Hannah's purchasing of Easter eggs. So she's been squirreling them away inside the house in areas where I don't know where they are for weeks. I went and put my boots on the other day, and I put my welly on, and I was like, what's going on there? There's something in my boat. Tipped it out, and it was a Cadbury's cream egg, and she was like, oh, I thought I dropped one there. I was like, never mind. I'm sorry if I look a little bit windswept. I've just got in from diving on the boat. I've been out with a couple of my friends local, and we've done a little bit of diving. We've had unbelievably big spring tides lately, so we have got some good videos coming up, and we're just trying to sneak in a last little session because we've got a lot of easterlies coming, and that always stirs the water up and colours all the water up. So yeah, we did have a great time. There won't be a video from that though, because it was just me having a bit of a laugh with my mates. Yeah, I do things without videoing it every now and again. Just occasionally. All right, calm down.
Do you want to clear up yesterday's confusion?
Yes. First thing I will clear up. Nobody's told me yet if they can hear me or if they can see me.
Someone has.
Right, good. I will clear up any confusion for anyone from my post yesterday. It was an April Fool's post. We are still buying a new boat. We aren't going to be buying kayaks instead. That was a joke. Although that many people were excited about it, that we might try and sneak in the odd kayaking session every now and again. We have got a couple of kayaking channels local to us. We might maybe speak to them about doing a collaboration at some point. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we are still getting a boat. In fact, actually, the boat hunt. People who follow the channel already, you may already know that we are looking at getting a new boat. We've kept it all quite close to our chest so far. We have actually put a deposit down on a boat. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet. It will all be revealed in future videos, future episodes.
The build has begun, hasn't it?
The build has begun. So yeah, that's very exciting. There's been an awful lot going on. There's been an awful lot going on with us here. We've on top of the fact that I've been filming day and night, not only keeping up the normal videos, but I've also sat through my L1 coaching course, my angling coaching course with the Angling Trust. So that was something I was doing in night classes. Yeah, and renovating the back garden as well. Peter Dennis, if somebody can explain to him about the super chats or super stickers, you can make a donation through a super chat or a super sticker, but YouTube does take 30% of that. If you want to make a donation to the channel to help with things like fuel costs or bait costs or anything like that, then contact me on the Fishlocker Facebook page, and I'll give you, the channel has got a PayPal that I buy fishing tackle online with and things like that. If you want to make a donation, I'll give you the PayPal. Really quickly, we have 250 people watching and we have 70 likes. Is there any chance you could just really quickly just give that like button a little click, and it does help the video. Gerald, thank you very much. My lady and I really enjoy all the videos. So sorry you don't have abalone in the UK. Come back. Yeah. It's we don't get abalones in mainland UK. For anybody else watching, we don't get them in mainland UK. They get them in the Channel Islands and they get them in France, but we don't yet get them here on. If we're going to get them anywhere, it would be in the southwest first, because we do seem to have a slightly warmer climate. But yeah, we don't get abalones in the UK. Yes, James, it is. But what can you do? Anybody that's asking a question, if I don't get to it, if I don't see it as it flicks up on the screen, Hannah is writing them down here. She's writing them down on a pad. When she's filled a page, she'll give me it and I'll start answering questions. So if we don't answer your question straight away, you don't need to keep asking it, because Hannah's already probably got it, and I'll read it out in a second when I get to it. More videos with Hayes Outdoors. Yes, I still, well, I'll say I'll talk to him quite regularly. Generally, I only message him when I'm heckling him. But yeah, I do stay in touch with Paul quite a lot, and we are looking forward to filming again when we can mix. I think he's definitely looking forward to getting back down here. I did hear him on one of his stories lately. He did say that he's working 7 days a week now, so he can take all of the summer off. So yeah, that might be what he does. He might come down here. We were planning on doing quite a few boat videos. I was going to get him out on the boat with me. Maybe even do 1 or 2 crazy overnight camping videos on the beach. We will see what happens. But yeah, we are planning on working together again soon. I have got some collaborations with quite a few other channels in the pipeline. There's quite a few guys, like fishing channels, that we are looking forward to working with over in different areas of the coast. We had hoped to be able to do like a fishing road trip, but I think that with the way that the what's it called, the route out of lockdown, the road trip out of
roadmap.
The roadmap out of lockdown, the way that that's working, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to, but we will do what we can. Baron, have they legalised tuna fishing in the UK? No. I've covered this in quite a lot of the other lives as well. No. It is still illegal to target and land bluefin tuna in the UK. You can send us an email. You can find the Fishlocker on Instagram. I don't know how you say that. Lush. L-A-U-S-C-H. I'm going to answer that one. I'd love to see you with Graham from Totally Awesome Sea Fishing. We did bump into Graham a couple of years ago, and we did mention about filming together, and he wasn't interested. So yeah, that won't be happening, I'm afraid. Tuna fishing in the UK. There is room. There is forecast to having a catch and release fishery, hopefully, but there will. I do not believe, in my heart of hearts, I don't believe that me, as an unlicensed boat owner, as just a Joe with a boat, I don't think that at least in the next decade that we will be seeing it legal for me to go out on my own boat, catch them and keep them. I honestly don't believe it's going to happen. I don't think I think that would be good for the species that it stays regulated, because if everybody started going and catching them and killing them, there would be none of them left. So I think they need to be protected by some type of legislation. James, when am I putting the pots back out? I've already started putting the pots back out.
Obviously, you haven't been watching the videos, have you?
I've already done 2 pot videos or 1 pot video.
I think one's up.
Yeah,
I've possibly done.
One's up, one's in editing, so I've already got the pots out. I've put 1 fleet out just as a tester because it is a little bit early, and then I will be doing more as the year goes on. Matt, have you ever used coarse gear for sea fishing or sea fishing tackle for coarse gear? Yeah, I did go carp fishing with a set of beach casters one time, but they frowned at me. Nah, I'm joking. Yes, you can use coarse gear for sea fishing, although you just have to like match the hatch. Carp rods are good for bream, for bass, smooth hounds, that type of thing. Or you get a good low rod, it doesn't matter what it is, salt or fresh. The same with a good stiff pike rod. You can do a lot of shore fishing with that. As far as the coarse tackle as well, yeah, as long as they're strong. The same rigs. I use a bolt rig in sea fishing and coarse fishing. Float fishing's the same. Justin, how big is your boat now? How big will your new boat be?
Secret.
Yes, my boat now at the moment is 16 feet long. We are upgrading the boat because our family is getting bigger. So generally it's going to be
Careful how you're saying things. The family is not getting bigger in number.
Our family
just
is
size.
growing in age and size. I can't tell you.
Some rumour start.
Theo, on average, how long can you hold your breath for when diving? I've been asked this quite a lot in the diving videos. there is an immediate confusion with the diving that I do when people think it's free diving. What I do is more like spearfishing but without a spear. Free diving is the action of pursuing depth, as in pushing yourself to the absolute limit of how deep you can go. That's not what I do. I just do what's comfortable. What you want to do is, I hold my breath for as long as I can, for as long as comfortable, or as long as it takes for me to pick up a clam or get a lobster out of a hole, or I don't know, somewhere between, I don't know, probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. It depends what I'm doing. If I've been swimming a long distance and I get there and I'm a bit puffed out, it maybe only be 30 seconds. But if I'm calm and if I'm relaxed and I know I'm just happy doing what I'm doing, yeah, a couple of minutes. That's a definite big thing. I mean, Daniel Mann did a fantastic video a couple of 6 months ago about methods of increasing your breath hold, and the main one that he just kept saying, and it's true, is just staying relaxed. Green Lover, thank you very much. That's very kind. And Aramis, that's amazing. Thank you very much. You guys do awesome work, and I know it's a ton of work on this production schedule. Hope this helps with the great boat updates, with the boat upgrades, or gets some takeout. I don't care. Up to you guys. Thank you very much, sir. That is... Sorry?
We'll get Easter eggs.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Hannah says we're getting Easter eggs. I think I'll try and siphon off some of that and it will go towards the boat. Hannah, you're... What type of Easter eggs do you like the most?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them. The bigger the better. Have you finished that one already?
Yes, I have. I don't mess about.
Okay.
Really quickly, and this is, it seems to have been a bit of a Marmite video, the lobster mac and cheese video. Did anybody see that? What did you think about it? Because it's, yeah, it was delicious. And it doesn't seem, some people have thought, oh, that's amazing. And other people have just been like, how dare you do that to a lobster? I don't know.
When you have them every other day, it doesn't matter, does it?
LRS fishing, yeah, it was great. Even though Hannah did cook it with strong cheese, and I am a fan of strong cheese, it was... All right, yeah, so I'm glad that you guys are in, like the look of it. It was really, really nice. We have just done the filming, sorry, we have just done some filming of some stunning cook-ups. We have got some really good videos coming up. I can't give too much away because I'll spoil it for you, but yeah, they were delicious.
Is that a new one? No, sorry.
No. Flatbit, can you help with some advice on launching a, is that 5 meter? Yes, I can. Because I have a video of me launching solo my 5 meter boat on a slipway. There is, I can't remember what it's called. It's probably going to be how to launch and retrieve your boat solo. That would probably be the name of the video, but I've got it on the channel already, of me launching my boat on my own on a slipway. That would be the easiest way to do it. I create a checklist. I've been doing it that long now that I don't really need the checklist to read, but I've got it in my mind. But yeah, definitely write yourself lists. What have you just retracted that comment?
It was boring.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you'd meant to do it the way you reacted.
No, it's because you know when you zoom in on the screen and all of a sudden everything was giant.
Charlie, favourite fish to eat? I have quite a few. We did...
Depends if it's shellfish
yeah.
or...
Haddock, smoked poached haddock for breakfast, I could eat every day. Smoked peppered mackerel, amazing. Other things as well, we did steamed salmon, and that was delicious, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
We did steamed salmon in a tin. I've done a couple of 3 cooking videos where I've used like a Quality Streets tin, showing you that you can cook on a fire or cook on coals or steam or things like that, and smoke them in the tin. I'm
really getting a taste for what we had yesterday.
Okay.
And I didn't like it before.
Yeah, favourite fish to eat. We did a
I like
A cook-
Place.
we did a
The
cooking-
John Dory was amazing.
We did ever so many cooking videos with Jim, Hannah's father, and he has just pulled it out the bag every time. The bass cook up was amazing. The John Dory was incredible, and the beer battered cod. Every single time I get a comment on that video and I go back and re-answer a comment and I see the thumbnail and I see a little bit of the video, I've just start salivating again. It's been, yeah. Can't beat cod and chips. Is that another one?
Just keeps asking the same question.
Right.
I've written it down already.
Yeah. Is it Joseph or Joseph? I mentioned earlier on in the video, if you ask a question and we don't answer it immediately, that's not because we're not going to. It's written down. If you keep asking it and asking it and asking it, all you're doing is you're just knocking off other people's questions. So just give other people a chance and we'll get to your question. We have 425 people watching and 259 likes. Can you just do me a favour really quick and just click that like button? Thank you. Do you think you could survive completely on coastal foraging and fishing? Yeah, quite easily. A few people have asked me.
Foraging at Tesco's down the road, isn't there?
Yeah. A few people have asked me this, and oh well, who's your favourite survivalist? Who's your favourite forager? Is it? And loads of people say Bear Grylls, or they say this, and I say, well, mine was always Ray Mears. I'm a Ray Mears man. I mean, of everybody else, I mean, like Bear Grylls goes out to somewhere and eats maggots, or like drinks his own urine. You get Ray Mears. Ray Mears could be lost in a jungle, and when the rescue team found him, he'll have put on weight. It just like makes the most amazing. Yeah, I'd probably do all right. I think I would. People have asked me if I would do like the 24-hour survival videos and things like that, but I don't think we could really do it around here. But yeah, I think I could probably do it all right. Have you been fishing in Wales? Yeah, a couple of times. Around the Pembrokeshire coast. It wasn't great weather when I went, so the fishing wasn't great, but we are gonna. John, do you ever consider naming and shaming the trolls? Scott, there's no point, because it would just give them airtime. The simplest way to deal with negative people like that is to just leave them to wallow in their own negativity. So yeah, the trolling and the negativity that they bring says more about their character than it does about the channel and about the community. We're all about just sharing what we know and what we love doing, sharing it with people who love doing the same thing. It's about sharing your passions and sharing what you love. Now, why would we want to sully that with bringing any negativity around it? They can just please themselves. It really doesn't bother us. Thank you very much, George. Jude, best bait for bass, day or night? Funnily enough, I was asked to speak at the AGM for the bass group, and one of the questions they asked, they just said, "What's your favourite bass bait?" And there isn't much that will turn down a peeler crab or turn down a live prawn. I've caught 20 different species on live prawn. Bass, absolutely love them. Little shrimps, live prawns. Day or night. Night time, I reckon, yeah, something smelly, like a peeler crab or a fresh mackerel fillet or like a stinking pink squid. Daytime would be a live prawn. The next question, do you know anywhere where you can get live prawns delivered? Oh, that was a coincidence. There are a few bait suppliers that do have them. Pro Bro, I'll come to that in a second. Jammy Sea Baits, I think he's thinking about doing live prawn. I know that there aren't an awful lot of places that have got them right now because we're just coming into the season to get them all. I always catch my own with either a prawning net or with a prawn pot. I don't know, I'm sorry. I don't know where you'd be, but I imagine if you Google or if you ask on Facebook, chances are people would know. I hope you enjoyed it, mate. We love lobster. Pro Bro was asking me, he says, why did you leave Whitby, the greatest place on earth? I said, well, you've obviously never visited Cornwall. I left Whitby when I joined the Navy. Where are we going? Phil, do you only use white Muppets? No, No. If you watched any of my wrecking videos, you will see that I have all types of different ones. Pink ones, orange and yellow, luminous green, lumi, white, all a lot. They all work. The best ones to check are if you get a packet of mixed Muppets, get a UV lamp and shine a UV lamp on it, and whichever ones ping the most, those ones are always the best. Rosie, would you ever go further north? Would you ever go further north, Cornwall, like you? What would I ever go to for?
Yeah.
Right. We have a couple of videos on the channel already from around that area. I aren't going to tell you what they are because I don't name the locations in the videos, but we also have a couple of videos in that area, Rosie. We also plan to do a little bit more travelling. We're going to do some foraging videos and some exploring videos around other areas. But obviously we're just coming out of lockdown, so we cannot. Do we get hake? Hake are one of those like exceptional captures. You can catch them round here, but you usually have to go a long way offshore, and they're like a very lucky one. There's a couple of charter boats out of Penzance, like Low Key Adventures or Bite Adventures, where sometimes when they're out sharking, they will catch a hake. And they are doing a couple of hake trips where they go off, but they're more like exploratory trips. You usually have to work a lot of nets to catch hake. It's not impossible to catch them, but they're not a common capture. Does South Wales produce similar fish to Cornwall? Yes. Yes and no. You get more taupe in Wales than you do in Cornwall. I would say the north coast of Cornwall and the south coast of Wales are more similar because that's only just a short stretch of water between them. But the south coast of Cornwall, I think we get slightly different species than what you get up there. I mean, we get quite a lot of gilt-head breams. I'm not sure you get an awful lot of gilt-heads in Wales. The same with plaice on the south coast. I think you get more plaice here than you do in Wales. But as for things like smoothhounds and rays, yeah, it's all pretty much the same. Best bait for conger, something stinky. Old squid, fresh mackerel, something bloody and stinky. Have you ever fished the Jurassic Coast? Which Jurassic Coast do you mean? Because the coast...
It was Dorset, sorry.
Right, okay. Because for people that aren't aware, there are two Jurassic Coasts in the UK. One of them is up in the northeast, up in like around Stairs, Whitby, Redcar, Scarborough, all around there, and the other one is down in Dorset. And all it is it's a piece of, it's where the stone from the Jurassic era has come to the surface. That's why they call it Jurassic Coast. In Dorset. The only fishing that I've done down there has been a little bit of wrasse bashing, so I can't really say that I properly fished it. But it's cracking fishing down there. Can you get John Dory this time of year? Not really. It's more of a summer species. I'm not going to say that you can't. Will I do a collaboration with Craig Evans? I've never asked him, but yeah, we both seem to be passionate about the same things. I don't see why not. If we ever get round to Pembrokeshire, then I may contact him and see if he's available. I'll never say never. Chris, have you ever used a drop net for lobster or crabs while fishing? No, there's no point. Round here you catch an awful lot of spider crabs with it, and when you were a kid, like we used to use a drop net for catching doggers, catching like shore crabs. But I've used a drop net before fishing off a cliff, landing fish, but you would just, the snaggy areas were that much tide round here. If you used a drop net like that, you would end up losing it. It'd just get stuck in the rocks. Sorry. Alex, what type of reel for rock fishing for pollock with 40 to 60 gram jigs? It purely depends on your budget, mate. The best thing I can say to you, Alex, is give me a message on the Fishlocker Facebook page and I will be able to send you some links of different price ranges. Rather than you comment back and say, oh, 30, 40 quid or 88. Just send me a message on the Fishlocker Facebook page. In fact, actually, I'll say that to anybody. If you've got any questions about fishing tackle, because the conversation would take more than what I'm able to give you right now, because we'd have to ask about like your experience level, your budget, that type of thing. Send me a message to the Fishlocker Facebook page and then I'll have a chat with you and we can maybe figure you some out. 500 people watching, that's fantastic. would you be able to do me a favour and just flick over and give that like button a click? We have 512 people watching and 390 likes. Who is the better cook? Definitely Hannah. Definitely Hannah. Without a doubt, I'm not afraid or ashamed to say it. Hannah is a much better cook than I am. Have you ever thought about doing a fishing series abroad? Yes, we do plan on doing a fishing series abroad.
We just aren't allowed.
We just aren't allowed to get there right now. We do plan on doing road trips around the country, around to different countries. As soon as we can, we will. SV Happy Mondays. I've just said, if you've got questions about fishing tackle like that, send me a private message to the Fishlocker Facebook page and we can have a chat about it. Anybody who's got any questions on fishing tackle, because I'm not going to be able to give you a definitive answer because it depends on too many variables, send me a private message to the Fishlocker Facebook page and I'll be able to have a chat with you with it. And I'll be able to offer you 2 or 3 different options. David, have there been any changes to what you can catch, keep since Brexit? Not really. Some of the minimum landing sizes are going to change, but can you just keep an eye on that one because that's a super chat. Have there been any changes to what you can catch and keep since Brexit? No, and there aren't going to be many because it's not going to make an awful lot of difference to the normal unlicensed Joe like you and I that wants to go fishing. The only things that it's going to make a lot of a difference to is the commercial guys. Minimum landing sizes are going to change slightly, but it's going to be, probably they're going to increase because now that we're going to be in charge of our own conservation, it will be better for the inshore species. What was the super chat, sorry? Have you ever caught freshwater crayfish? We'd love to see some more plant foraging videos, and lobster mac and cheese looked amazing. And who was that, sorry? That was...
Ben.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, Ben.
No.
There.
Natalie Davies.
Oh, I
That's
thought you
who
were
that
looking
was.
at that one.
No. Natalie, I have caught some freshwater crayfish. We are planning on doing like a yabby catch and cook. I have a place lined up. As soon as we can get out and travelling again, I'm going to do a video there. So that's coming up. I'm glad you like the mac and cheese. The next one, Ben Neves or Neves. Thank you very much, mate. That's very kind of you. It's very generous. Thank you. And the other one was that coastline fishing. I really enjoy your channel. Thanks for bringing so much good content. I know it's not much, but maybe replace a few weights. Cheers, Ben. Thank you very much, Ben. I will do, actually. I don't know what I'll put that to the boat. What are you smiling for?
Someone's talking about my pen. I was just putting him back in the frame.
All right.
Someone keeps asking what's our thoughts on that Seaspiracy. We haven't watched it, have we? That film or whatever it is.
What I'm going to say here might be, some people might not like to hear it. Unfortunately, people who watch the channel and watch our lives, you'll know that I'm very straight talking. I don't fluff around subjects. The Seaspiracy was a shockumentary. It wasn't a documentary. They had a few great points at the start and then lost me completely when they started exaggerating things to try and have an impact. Most of the information as well is old information. It's nothing new. Like the fact that Mitsubishi owns most of the bluefin tuna quota and has been buying them up for the past 15 years and been like blast freezing them and keeping them in storage because the price is going up. Well, that's just like investing in anything else. They aren't doing anything illegal. The fishing effort worldwide, the commercial fishing effort worldwide, these super trawlers, and these massive factory ships, they are unsustainable. Most of them are coming from areas over on the eastern side of the globe. That's the best way I could say that. And that's because they have more mouths to feed. They are less scrupulous with their conservation. Just do what you can. If it gets more people thinking about conservation and caring for the oceans, then it's been good. As for the information in it, I would take it all with a little pinch of salt. Don't take anything that you hear on that type of documentary as gospel truth. I would encourage anybody to fact check their information. I am both from the fishing industry and the fisheries conservation industry, and I'm a pleasure angler. So I have been exposed to quite a lot of information. I also read an awful lot about it because it's my passion. So I know quite a lot about what's going on with things like quota and conservations. Yes, worth a watch, but don't take it all to heart. Morton Eriksson, remember to visit us in Norway when COVID is over. We plan to, mate. Don't worry about that. Brian Patterson, amazing, mate. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. James, have you fished the canals? Not in many, many years, mate. The last time I fished canals, I was in the Navy, actually. It's a great fun drop shotting for pike, not pike and perch, but I haven't done any of that in quite a while, mate.
Needs to.
Yeah. Hopefully, when we get to travel a little bit more, I am going to do a little bit more canal fishing. It'll be a bit of lure fishing. I do want to try and get to some chalk streams as well to try and get some chub. Just because I want to do like a Matt Hayes and do like a lovely chubbly. Bethany, that's amazing. Thank you very much. It's very generous. Thank you. Alan Horworth, we've just talked about that. Yes, it is. It would be an incredible opportunity for coastal towns if they can get a catch and release fishery. Sean Douglas, thank you very much, Sean. That's very kind. Thank you. We'll do our best to keep it up. We are going to have to cut this live. What time is it now?
No,
in half an hour. We're going to have to cut off at 8 o'clock because we need to go and pick our daughter up. Some people might be surprised to hear that there is actually a fourth one because she doesn't appear in too many of the videos. She is actually in quite a few of the videos, but she's just not in them all. Have you ever used limpets for bait? Yes, several times. They are very good wrasse bait. In fact, there are a couple of videos on the channel already where I use them to catch wrasse. One of them has got me and James with like a big orange wrasse on the thumbnail where we go out. And all I do is we're going to have a walk about, wrecking out a bit of shoreline. I find an area that looks wrassy, tie up a rig there and then kick a limpet off a rock, scoop it out, put it on, catch a wrasse with it, all for camera. Would you consider doing some real beginner videos like how to set up a rod from scratch, knots, weights, etc.? Yes, we are. Again, this is another thing where we've been kind of held back a little bit because of the restrictions. I've already started doing a shore fishing for beginners playlist with a few videos on like basics of gear. I am trying to speak to a tackle manufacturer to see if I can like organise him to get like a starter spinning setup, a starter pier setup, a starter beach setup and a starter boat setup. And I'll do a video on each one showing you like from the very start of tying the line to the reel and putting it through the lines and then the knots and hooks. I am going to try and do that. We haven't been able to do it because of the restrictions. Now that we're coming out of them, we will be able to do that. So I will be getting that up there. Why don't you jig with hard lures or spoons? Well, you don't generally jig with hard lures. You spin with them. I do use them occasionally, but I like soft plastics better. That's the only real reason. Dave, no, but I have uttered a few curse words when I've lost a good fish. Connor Fuller, love the channel, guys. Great stuff all the time. Tight lines from Dublin. Thank you very much, Connor. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel, mate. And I don't know how you guys are doing for your. When you're coming out? Are you allowed to fish? I've got a couple of friends in Ireland, and I think they were saying that you had to be within a couple of kilometres from your house, or you couldn't go. How are you getting on? Does the water have to be clear for live baiting for bass? No. Fish still need to eat. Fish still need to feed, whether the water's cloudy or the water's clear. They will find it. Have you ever fished the canals? Yeah, I've already got to that one. That might have been the same guy asking that question. Have you ever fished from a sib? Not for a lot of years. What's he saying? 5k. Oh, right, 5k to the end of the month. Right, I understand now, mate. Well, it's better than 1 kilometre, isn't it? It's all right if you've got somewhere within 5k. I haven't fished from a sib for a long time, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. If that's what you can afford, if that's what you can manage, then yeah, there's nothing stopping you getting out. In fact, actually, there is a young lad called Oban who caught a phenomenal bass. I think it was like last winter He's done some fantastic sib fishing videos. Like he went out to the Eddiston Lighthouse. Need to find the right conditions for him. But yeah, it's there's nothing stopping you. Is it possible to target monkfish, and have you tried? I have actually been looking into how to do that. You can increase your chances of catching one, but they aren't an easy fish to target just because they live just on open ground and they don't move around a lot, so you kind of have to go and find them. I won't say too much because I might get a chance to do a video on it now that we're we're able to move around a lot more. What's that mean? Okay. Have you ever fished in Ireland? Is the river fishing as good as they say? SV, happy Mondays. Thank you very much, mate. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Sorry. I've been diving and my throat's still dry. Right. Fished in Ireland? No, not really. We did go on holiday there when James was, how old was he?
Teeny weeny.
James was still like couldn't even crawl. And I did do a little bit of fishing there, like a little bit of wrasse fishing, a little bit of mullet fishing, that type of thing. But I can't say that I've really given it a proper good go, but it is supposed to be incredible. In fact, there is a friend of mine who's got a fishing channel over there called Chris O'Sullivan, and he has he pulls out some incredible fish. So,
Someone keeps asking if I've seen the video when you ate a whole lobster by yourself.
Which one?
Like I'm supposed to care.
Which one? I think what they're expecting you to do is go as if you ate that lobster all by yourself. Yeah.
I'd have been more upset if it was a cream egg.
You should have been more upset if it had been a whole Easter egg and I'd ate it by myself.
I don't care. John can eat all the lobster he wants.
I'm trying to get back to it. How do I? Right. Dean Barrett, thank you very much. I could see that pop up and I just missed it. Thank you very much, Dean. That's very kind of you. Oh, what are we looking at now? Fish from a sib, yeah. Right, Jerry, best fish for deep frying. Ooh. If you're going to deep fry them, any whitefish. You could, cod's great, haddock's great, pollock's good. Pollock's good and sustainable. Ling's also good. Yeah, ling's a really good chewy whitey fish. Chewy, meaty white fish. What?
All right.
Yeah. It's that unagi. Does that say...
Loved.
Right, loved your pollock vid with Tom. Is there pollock all year round? Are they better on certain tides? Pollock just like a bit of tide. Like they're a predator fish. You're better fishing for pollock when there is a run of tide. So obviously over slack water, high water or low water slack. John Graham, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. It's better fishing for them like from the flood or through the ebb rather than on slack tide, and the same way that if you've got like neeps, it's not as good for pollock fishing. You can still catch them, but they're just not as good. And yes, pollock are generally there year round. Certain times of year you do get them holding up in areas because they're filled full of spawn, but yeah, pollock are pretty good for catching all year round. Jacob, yes, we do have a PayPal for the channel. You want me to just say it now?
I'll just put it in the chat in a minute.
Right. What Hannah will do is she will comment in the chat what the Fishlocker PayPal is. So are you planning on doing a meetup or fish off with Slippery Olympics? Yes, Mally, we are. I am planning on meeting Nathan and just having a bit of a crack. Grace, that's very kind. Thank you very much. For anybody who's making one of these donations, these super chats, that is amazing. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it. If you, although, are you aware that YouTube will take 30% of them? So if you're sending me 30 quid, YouTube will take a tenner. If you are wanting to make a donation like that and you have PayPal, it is just as easy to just send a PayPal donation to the Fishlocker PayPal, which Hannah has just put into the chat there. And if you just make it a friends and family payment, then PayPal won't take a cut either. So the whole donation will go to the channel. Alan.
Ah, that's our favourite fish and chip shop, Alan.
We love that place.
We haven't had have you had Hake from there before?
No, I haven't.
I'd be too scared to order anything different because it's always so good what we normally get, isn't it?
Alan, we will
Alan.
use that donation to get some hake from there. That's what we'll do. Gotta hurt. Send me a private message to the Fishlocker Facebook page, and I will have a chat with you about that. Dave Collins, no worries, mate. Have you got your Cellar Warrior now? Have you? I saw you asking about one earlier, a couple of posts ago. It's good that you're getting out on the water more, mate. Have I thought about doing a charter boat? I have thought about it every now and then. Have you written that down?
I was just about to write that down. Will
Well,
you read your pieces of paper?
Been told. Right, spoons, fishing island, best bait for deep fry, pollock potatoes. Yes, done. Is that Brooker?
Yes.
Bradley Brooker. Kingsley has asked me to give you a shout out. There you go, there's your shout out. Bethany, a new boat fisherman and struggling drifting over reefs without getting snagged. Any advice? Depending on how you're fishing. Are you fishing with lures? Are you fishing with live baits? Are you fishing with bottom baits? Depending on what you want to catch as well. If you're wanting to catch mackerel, bass, pollock. If you're fishing lures, it's going to sound simple. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I didn't ask you for that. Don't let them sink as much. If you've got an echo sounder, if you're fishing with a float as well, if you Peter, thank you very much. That's very kind. Can you just type it up again in the comments? Adrian, that's very, very kind. Thank you very much. I'm going to get Hannah to put it back up. Brilliant, Dave. Yeah, they are a great boat. They're the only thing that's kind of stopping me is they've got quite a high gunnel, and they it's all going into a video. I won't give too much away. When you're drifting over a reef, if you've got an echo sounder and you steam over it and you see it's going up and down and up and down and it goes like 60 feet, 80 feet, 60 feet, 30 feet. If the highest point's 30 feet, don't set your float any deeper than 25 feet. And that means no matter where you drift through them and the bottom's going like that, your drift will never snag up. And the same way that if you're casting lures, just don't let them sink as much. If you're trying to fish baits on the bottom, then you might want to try anchoring up. It'll sound simple me saying it, but yeah. Or even if you're getting too fast to drift, you could try using a drogue. I don't use them because the drifting that I do is over that tighter, like that one pinnacle. By the time I've set a drogue up, I'm over it and I need to pull it back in again. It's for you, that one. You gonna answer it? No.
Yeah, no, I like Nirvana. I don't mind white stripes and stuff, but I don't like heavy metal.
Kieran, I am from Falmouth but live in Scotland, and I know Jim, he's a top chef. Yeah, he is. He's incredible. We are so fortunate to have him in so many ways.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Just looking at something.
Brian, when float fishing, do you let the line go through the float or is there a stop knot? People keep asking me this, and it's one of those ones where I just go, think about what you've just asked me. A free running float without any way of stopping it, you're not fishing with a float. The line's going to go right through it and go to the seabed. So you're going to have a bottom bait with a float on the line doing nothing. Just think about it logically. What would that serve? If you just let the line run all the way through the float, it would keep running and keep running and keep running to the seabed. You wouldn't be fishing with a float. So it might seem like I'm being quite short on the answer, but I maybe get asked it like 5 or 6 times a day, every day, and people just think about it. Just think about what you've just said, and then think about like the logic of it, the way that it works. How many times have you? This is another thing as well. Is if I just give the answers straight away, people don't understand why I've given the answer. If you can figure it out yourself, then you'll understand the theory of it. You'll understand how it works, so you can progress. If all you do is get given an answer and that's your answer, then you don't understand it. If you know what I mean. It's so yeah. I'll do my best to help you think through an issue. Just I I think what the query implies, if it's okay to let a stop not run through the spoon. Well, Dizzy B, good for bringing that up, but then think about it another way. If it's not going to run through the rod eyes and you're fishing in 30 feet of water, how are you going to get the fish in? If there's 30 feet from the float to the fish and you're really in and it stops at the rod tip, you've got 30 feet to the fish. How are you going to get the fish in? You just need to think through the process. How many times have you been pinched? Have they done much damage? I did get nipped quite badly by a lobster, probably late last year. I went out and I did a dive, and I've got a couple of friends who work at spearfishing.co.uk, Leith, and what they're doing is they're doing like a beginner's guide to like spearfishing, but it's not necessarily spearfishing. It's almost like an underwater safari, like what I do. We just go cutting about, and they're going to teach people the safety of how to do it, like the breathing techniques, the types of dive, how to rescue somebody, the fins, all the gear. They're doing all that, and we were doing like a tester, so I could give them feedback. And it was cold, and I didn't have proper gloves on. And anyway, I put my hand down to try and get a lobster out, and there was another lobster in the hole, so there was two. When I got hold of one, I got nipped on my finger, and I didn't feel it straight away because my hand was numb. And yeah, it did mess me up.
10 more minutes.
Right, Cole. Yeah, the reason why I still hold the British record is because my fish was weighed properly. It's got nothing to do with anything else. If you know about the rings that I had to jump through to claim a record, like the length, the girth, scales had to be sent to the Natural History Museum to be verified as a 100% purebred bass. The scales that I weighed them on, even though I had the fish and they were market scales and they were certified, I had to pay for somebody from HMRC Weights and Measures to come and verify the scales. And then I had to do all of that, and yet the other person weighed it on some cheap electrical scales, one-handed, in a storm, wrapped in a wet towel. That's the reason. So yeah.
It's up here.
Marty MC, have you been back to the hatchery where you dropped off the monster lobster? Any update? We pretty much went straight back into lockdown after we'd done that, so we haven't had a chance to go back and see him. But I have messaged the guys there once or twice, and they say he's doing fine. Hopefully, we'll get a chance of going back there sometime this summer.
It should open on the 12th.
Have you been to New Brighton Beach? I've only ever been at Brighton once, and I was fishing on Grey Viking, the charter boat. It's a nice place though. A good boat. We went like winter cod fishing. Just had loads of strap eels, I think, that day. I can't, if I can remember right. Steve, no. It's 2 fish per person per day, I think. Actually, don't hold me to that. I think, and I think the commercial guys, it was 1st of April. Any advice on a boat in that Ladram Bay?
Ladram Bay.
I'm sorry, I don't know where that is. If you contact me on the Fishlocker Facebook page, we can maybe chat about it more, but I don't know what that means. Have you ever fished the Thames? No, I haven't. No, I haven't actually. Saying that, I've only been to London probably 3 or 4 times. So I know the Thames stretches further than that, but what's he said? Surely we have 15 minutes left.
No, less than that.
Okay. Do I service my own boat? Some things I do, some things I don't. Obviously, you know yourself when things are under warranty, and also if you have a service booklet like you do with your car, if your car has constantly been serviced by registered dealers, then you'll get a stamp in your book. So some things I do, some things I don't. Things like fuel filters and stuff like that, or basic maintenance, like a quick change of plugs or a change of a filter. Yeah, but if it's going in for a service every single year, like to have the impeller and things like that done, so that the service booklet is up to date, I'll do that. Not because I can't do it myself, but because of that. Not only does it get a sticker in your book, so that when you come to selling it, you've got hello. But also you've got the warranty on that if anything goes wrong, you can take it straight back to them. Next on your fish wish list, I'm not entirely sure. Like I say, we do plan on travelling around a little bit. I would like to go and meet up with a friend of mine called Jason Gillespie, and try and target some threshers. If that's possible, that would be incredible. Am I a member of any fishing clubs? I don't think I am now, am I?
No.
No. We don't have the time for things to. We're just that busy. YouTube taking 1/3 of donation. Yeah, John, it is. Thank you very much for the donation as well. But yeah, it is. It's But what can you do? You tired? You're being shy today. Is that an Easter egg over there? Oh yeah. Oh right. Yeah, that woke you up a little bit, didn't it?
What Easter egg do you want, James? Is the Easter Bunny going to do a hunt for you?
Will we ever do a video from Ireland? Yeah, when we can get over there, we plan to do some more. Like I say, we hadn't been able to travel for a couple of 3 years with James because he was poorly, because he was receiving treatment, and then since then we've been in lockdown, so we haven't been able to. James, somebody has just asked, how many eggs have you got?
How many Easter eggs do you think you've got?
One.
One? How many have you eaten already?
1,000.
1,000. That's more like it.
Pretty accurate. What's your
Um,
favourite Easter egg? Dairy milk. Oh, mini eggs. Mini eggs is your favourite.
where is my accent from? My accent is from a mixture of all over the place. I'm originally from the northeast of the UK. And because I've lived all over the place, because I've lived down south and I've worked, when I was in the Navy, I was working all over the place. I do have a little bit of a mix of an accent. Every now and again, I throw in the odd Cornish word with like with a long R, just to keep the locals happy. But it's the difference between lotte and lotter. Every now and again, I let one slip out. Where are we going? Tim, thank you very much. That's very, very kind. Thank you. Happy Easter, Jay. Where are we doing, Ireland? How can you avoid crab bites? I'm assuming, David, that you mean on your fishing, like on your fishing line, on your hooks. Really quickly, if there anybody that hasn't clicked the like button, can you just click a like real quick? We've got 534 people watching. I think there's a couple there that can't find you on PayPal. Can you just type it in there one more time, please? Dave27875. My wife will just type it in for you now. Crab bites. You can put floating beads on your hook lengths, so it will rise. It'll if that's the seabed there, and your bait's usually sat on the bottom, your floating beads will usually lift it off the bottom so that crabs won't find it. Right, any more questions?
No, I stopped because this is like our time now.
Right. Have we got anything that we need to talk about? That we're going to talk about?
I don't know if everybody heard. Someone else asked again about if tuna fishing is legal now, and a couple of people asked again.
I'll quickly go into that and say tuna fishing in the UK right now is still legal. You aren't allowed to target them. You aren't allowed to land them. If you accidentally hook one, you have to keep it in the water and you have to release it immediately. Like you'll see on my boat there when I caught two accidentally when I was shark fishing. I brought them alongside the boat. I unhooked them, and then I recovered them and let them go. That's what you have to do. You're not allowed to do anything to them. You're not allowed to bring them on board a boat or anything like that. The only boats that were allowed to target them last year and the year before were ones that were working with the university. To tag them, because they're trying to find out like their migratory routes and how many there are to be able to get a fishery established. Now there is no fishery established yet. When it does come in, it's probably going to be only licensed boats. I don't personally believe that there will be any recreational fishing allowed for them, at least in the next... I'm not going to hold my breath, put it that way. I don't think there will be a way that I can go and target them, go out and troll spreader bars or anything like that and target them. Because they need to be protected, and that's it, the bottom. I don't think it's a bad thing. Yes, you need to go to the T-Mill site, and they can do a... Carl, I'm not sure when Hayes is coming back down, but the T-Mill site is in the description of all of the videos, and it's pinned at the top of the Fishlocker Facebook page. That's where you can order your Fishlocker merchandise from, which is the... Oh, I'm going to flash my belly at you. Pull one down.
Like Superman.
There's like a pinchy Thanos shirt. I'm just like a Russian doll of Fishlocker merch. Every layer's got something Fishlocker on it.
Okay.
Where are we at?
We need to go.
Okay. Well, I'm being told. Thank you very much for everybody that's joined us. Thank you for everyone who's asked a question. If I haven't managed to get to your question, I'm very sorry, but there was an awful lot of them coming through. If you still need it answering, send me a message on the Fishlocker Facebook page. The same way that if anybody's got any questions about fishing tackle, then send me a message on the Fishlocker Facebook page and we'll have a chat, and depending on what you're going to be doing, we can probably find something for you. Everybody that sent a super sticker or a super chat donation, that's very, very generous. Thank you very much. For anybody else, like for the people who are watching this after the live is finished, if you want to make a donation to support the channel, whether that's buying bait or fuel or fishing gear or even just an Easter egg because it's Easter, then we have posted the PayPal in the comments here. And also, if you send us a private message to the Fishlocker Facebook page, we will share the PayPal with you. The channel has got a PayPal account. Thank you very much. I'm glad you could join us. We'll see you later.